We are really excited to be here with you all. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to let our friends in. I know we've got participants still coming in and joining us, and we're happy to have you all here. We're so excited to launch this third edition of ELs in Texas, What School Leaders Need to Know. So I know that you all are amazing leaders for your campuses and your districts and the educators that you serve, and we are super happy that you've joined us today. So if you'll go ahead and click to the next screen, please, for me. I think we just have a couple of logistics I'm going to share with you regarding how we'll communicate during this webinar, our party, our book launch party. Those of you that are here with us live, please continue to chat with us using the Zoom webinar chat feature. Just be sure that you're chatting with all panelists and attendees, and have a fun time learning about this resource and the authors who poured their hearts and souls into it. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Anna Mattis.
Yeah, let's stay on this screen for just a quick second. Let's give everybody a chance, if you haven't already, go ahead and type your name into the chat, where you're from and what your current role is, so we can see what it is that you're doing. And you might notice over there on the left-hand side of your screen is we have some new information for you. This book, the version of the book that I hold in front of you, is one of the first publications that Seidlitz Education is taking online. So we have a digital version for you. If you can't wait to order and get it in your hands, you can go to Google Play right now and you're able to download it. And I'm going to, in just a little bit, tell you some more features about it that really make the digital version stand out. But if you are like us and you love our paper and you love going through and tabbing all the wonderful information, it's now available on the Seidlitz Education website. So you can go onto the Seidlitz Education website, order it. I am going to share this little piece of information. We only have 300 copies of the first one. So it's in a limited run. So if you want yours, go ahead and get it. And then we're going to wait a little bit and then bring it back out again. So thank you to everybody. It looks like we have people joining us from all over the state and even from out of state. So the good thing about this book, even though it's ELs in Texas, there's wonderful information in there regarding curriculum and instruction, professional learning, systems and processes that are going to be fantastic for you, even if you're outside of Texas. So don't let the Texas scare you. All right, Mary, let's go on ahead. A little bit about the authors. Now, we have a lot of our friends joining us today that already know the wonderful pictures of the people that you see here. But in case this is your first time with us, I want to introduce to you the 4 authors of this book. First, you see John Seidlitz. John, say hello to everyone real quick so they can see you.
Hello everyone, real quick.
Hi, real quick. John is our founder and CEO, and he was the brainchild of this book, along with some of our authors way back when we had the first edition. Next to him, you'll see Dr. Mónica Lara. Say hi, Mónica. Hola.
Hello.
She is our senior consultant for bilingualism and biliteracy. She heads the dual language program professional learning efforts for Seidlitz Education. And she's also the author of the best-selling Toma la Palabra. I'm sure you've seen her name if you're familiar with bilingual education. And she's really going to be the specialist that you want to reach out to if you need help with the bilingual and dual language programs in your district. Next, we have a face that might be new to some of you. This is Miss Mary Martin. Mary, say hello to everyone. They can see you. There's Mary. Mary is a newer addition to Seidlitz Education, but she's definitely not a new addition to the bilingual and ESL community in Texas. She's been a lifelong educator, a director of language acquisition, and as John likes to currently refer to her as our policy wonk, Mary is our policy guru and is so well versed in EL policy as it pertains to Texas. And so a lot of the legal lineage that you'll see in the book is going to come from Mary, and she's your go-to gal for that. And last but not least, we have Miss Melinda Base. Melinda, say hello to everyone.
Hi.
There's Melinda. Now, if you're a Seidlitz groupie from the beginning, Melinda is not a stranger to you. She has been with John also from the beginning herself, very similar background, educator, campus principal, administrator, district administrator. And Melinda and I got to meet when we were both specialists at Region 13. Melinda is our OG policy wonk who really laid the foundation down for the legal lineage that's in this book. And we're just really happy to have her with us, joining us today. So that's a little bit about your 4 authors that you see. Go ahead and go to the next slide if you would. Now, here's the fun part. If you are online on Twitter, we're going to be doing a giveaway of 2 copies of the book. The hashtag that we'd like for you to use is right there. It's hashtag L's in Text for Leaders. And what I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and just occasionally go to your phone, share something that you like, share a photo, tweet about us. And at the end of the webinar, Melinda is going to be selecting our 2 winners, and you'll be mailed 2 copies, or 2 different individuals will get 1 copy of the book. You don't need 2 copies of the book, I promise. So keep that in mind, and we'll keep putting in the hashtag into the chat as we move forward, so you can have that. And I think I have one more. Yes, one more. Now, as I mentioned, here's the physical copy of the book. Those of you who've been with us since the first version came out, this is version number 3. It is available digitally. If you're just joining us, this is one of those first things that I mentioned. You can now download this on Google Play. The beauty of it is everything that's linked in this book, whether it goes to some kind of legal lineage, a TEA site, a district site, is hot linked in the digital version. So if you download it on an e-reader and you see a link, you're going to be able to click on that link and it'll take you right to that document, that website, that case, whatever it is it might be. So you don't have to open a separate tab and search for it on your own. It's really wonderful for that digital version. Now, if you don't have that, don't worry, because a new feature of this book is anytime we do see legal links, they are provided to you via QR code. So if you're like us, you're reading it here, you'll notice the QR code. You just have to get a QR code scanner. You're able to scan it and see that same info digitally. So just a little thing to help us out, especially while we're doing so much of our work virtually at this time. So you can check that out later. And I think I'm going to pass it on to Mary.
So the lovely Anna told you about some of the new features in the book, and I get the pleasure of telling you a little bit about some of the new content, and it's some of my favorite content because it's legalese. So you'll notice that Chapter 89 has been updated to the 2018 update. The 2015 Every Student Succeeds Act has been implemented or kind of integrated into the book, and you can see all of its impacts on our ELs, supporting ELs in Texas. You're going to notice that there's PEAM updates, and there's PEAMS updates in there, and that you'll note that all of the FMI sections, and John's going to talk a little bit about the FMI sections, that both the methodologies and the data have been updated. And of course, we've added a little Q&A about addressing ELs in times of crisis. So those are some new features you're going to see, or new content pieces. And I'm going to send it on to John to give you a little more explanation.
Thank you. And I just wanted to doubly thank Mary again for the updates. We could have never finished this without her help with that. We really appreciate the depth of the everything from pushback, arguments, finding out I was wrong many times because I've been doing this forever and have not, I'm still thinking in terms of the way things were and not realizing ESSA, Chapter 89, that things are actually really different now. A lot of things are different, and we really appreciate that from when I was both in the classroom and supporting districts live. So thank you for that. In light of those changes, if you're not familiar with the book, we have our sections here, and I had to adjust internally to not having burnt orange as the very first section, and it does still have maroon, and I'm adjusting to that, and I will get over it. But we do have our 6 sections, and they're similar to what we had before, but also a little different. We readjusted the sections so it aligns to the way that TEA talks about instructional programs for ELs. So if you want to look at it, if you were doing trying to do program monitoring, or you were going to assess your program, you would find that these match exactly some of the work that TA has done over the last 4 years, talking about program instruction and program design. The first section there is EL programs. Thank you. We have Monica modeling the book here. So, and it's the same in the online version too. You have EL programs, systems and processes, and then CNI. We've added the professional learning section. We have assessment accountability and a whole brand new section on, can I have a drum roll please? Family and community outreach, which also, if you're interested, Mary and Valentina and Marcy Voss, who's also in the chat, are just experts on the family and community outreach, and periodically been doing some training on that. So we'll have more information on that later too. So that's the basic structure. I know that a lot of you bought the book for the appendices because it had all those cool things like the ELPS aligned walkthrough forms. ELPS have not changed yet, which I still love the ELPS. I love them. I know they're going to change someday, and I know that other people like WIDA people and ELPA 21 people, they want us to modify, but I still love our ELPS, and we still have the same ELPS tools we had before. And as long as those haven't changed they're still going to look pretty similar. So can the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what a section looks like. We kept the same format that we had before. That was the format was designed at Chester's Hamburgers on near San Pedro in San Antonio. After we'd done our first draft, it just was not comprehensible, and we had shown it to an administrator out in Bernie, I think it was, and they said, I can't use this. So we went back and we're sad and kind of rewrote what it would look like, and this was what we came up with, and everybody was like, okay, this hits the nail right on the head. We designed this so that if you're a brand new administrator and you come in, or you just started being a bilingual director and you're trying to figure out what do I do, it would be there for you. So it starts off with a little quick explanation of what the section's about. Then we have the legal lineage, and it goes from federal to the TAC, to the TEC, to the DAC. And then we'll have, if there's something from the Student Attendance County Handbook or something that's special, we'll put it there at the bottom. So it's kind of like a funnel. The just information is just enough information. Just what do I need to know about this and what do I need to do? And when you read that, some questions may pop up, and then we have the questions. The bulk of the text of the book that we wrote is responses to those questions. So like this is on, I think, sheltered instruction and second language acquisition methods. By the way, we called it second language acquisition methods because that's a change in chapter 89, how it's discussed. SCI versus, now we have SCI and SLAM, right? It's not actually called SLAM, but anyway. So, and then down there we have, for more information, we included updates in the research. Thank you, Dr. Lara, for the updates in the research, helping us to get that more current. But all the things that are just popular in Texas, and also things that are just seminal research is still included, the same ones that we'd had before. So next slide. I think it's the fun part now. It's the fun part, yay, okay. So we have right now, I think about 100 people, about 119 people participating. So we want all 119 of you, please, to go to www.minty.com. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what this looks like. Can y'all see my Google Chrome now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when you get there, you should see this, www.minty.com, MENTI.com. When you get there, you're going to enter the code 913922, which you should be able to see on the screen there. And I'll keep repeating it using my smooth jazz radio voice. 913922. Go to minty.com. 913922. Okay, can anybody type into the chat if you're having any trouble with it? It's not open for vote. Oh, I didn't launch it. That's why. Oh no, it's launched. Somebody said it's not open to voting. So the question isn't open. 3922. It says it's not working. It says voting is closed. Let me go back out and relaunch this. Okay. And over there it says Voting is closed. Mine says voting is closed too. Let me open up the voting.
Yes, yeah, I think if you just go to your settings, there's a little place where you can uncheck it and it should let you.
Your voting's closed. Do you know where that is, Anna?
Let me see. Maybe go to your configure, John.
Well,
But when you clicked on configure, there was a little box that was checked that said it was closed.
I think I can do this though. Duplicate it. I'm going to launch it again and we'll have a different code.
That'll work.
So would you go back and type in 178437? Thank you for your patience, everybody. 178437. Please type. It still says voting is closed. Look at that. Wow.
If you go back to that configure one more time.
Okay, let me try that. And I've used Mentimeter over and over, and of course now it decides to happen. Okay.
There's a feature somewhere that you need to click. I've done it before. I just don't remember right now.
When you clicked,
when you're in presentation mode, it'll show the option to click on voting to open it. Yes, that sounds right to me, Giselle. Thank you.
It's not doing. Once you're in presentation mode, it will show the option to click on voting to open it. Okay, let's try that. Last time, third time's the charm. Still says voting is closed. And it says keyboard shortcut. This is really odd. Okay, sorry guys, we'll just go on. Okay, if you could type for us into the chat, please. What excites you most about the new book? What excites you most about the new book? If you could just type it into the chat, please. What excites you most? Ooh, family and QR codes, updated with simplicity. Thank you. Sounds like, Mary, it sounds like your family and community engagement section plus the QR codes are the winners. No more orange. That's hysterical.
Oh.
Easy to look up the legal, the family engagement. Okay, our next question. Which section are you most interested in exploring? Is it required EL programs, systems and processes, curriculum and instruction, professional learning, assessment and accountability, or family and community outreach? Professional learning, family and community outreach, C&I, outreach. Oh, it looks like it's all over the place.
Is it working now?
Somebody got in. I don't know yet. Somehow it's working now. Okay. It looks like the winner is family and community outreach. So if you're in, you can type it in. If not, you can do the.
Yes, it's working now.
Okay, and what model of training best supports your district? Book study, 3-hour online training, full day online training, or lunch and learn, ongoing PLCs.
It's shifting. Yes, full day online training, number 5. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I know that if we had said this before COVID, so many people would have said full day training. That would
Well,
have
we've learned our lesson, I think.
a really big thing. That's kind of a good education piece for all of us, how much things have changed. And
Yeah.
who would have said before COVID, our online training? No one, that wasn't even on any of our radar screens, right? The Menti code is 178437. 178437. And our last question is, what virtual training for school leaders would you like to see? So this is just anything you can think of related to ELs and school leaders. Just type it in. What would you like us to do? Either put it in the chat or you can type it into the Mentimeter. Oh, culturally responsive teaching. You hear that, Michelle? Why? And Valentina, you're talking about that one now. Special populations, two-way dual language program. Wow, look at all the people interested in culturally responsive approaches to learning. How neat. More sheltered instruction.
John, you're also getting some answers from the chat. So systems and processes, a lot of people want to know about program models and legal requirements, which is a huge part of the book.
Mhm.
And I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but we have a really cool, oh, some legal stuff too, awesome.
Right.
So also I wanted to, we do a training called, Dr. Izquierdo does called Narratives and Norms, which is a fantastic training. If you can sign up for that, it's called Narratives and Norms, and it's just on cultural responsiveness. I know it really changed my thinking on some stuff when I went through the process with her, because it was not my area of expertise. And when is the podcast that you're doing, Valentina? You're doing a podcast for Saddleback, right? That's
Yes, on Thursday with Saddleback. It's a webinar and it is at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time.
and the topic is culturally responsive teaching. So, all righty. Well, it's interesting to see what the feedback is. I would not have predicted the responses that we got, the legal, the culturally responsive teaching, and I would have guessed sheltered instruction. But wow, how to focus on how to support 6+ trainings in Spanish. Yes, we're going to do more trainings in Spanish. Okay, so with that, I think we're ready to pass it back to Mary. And I am going to stop share. If it's, well, let me do that. It says new share. Down at the bottom, Mary, instead of saying shops here, it says new share. There you go. Thank you, Mary.
All right, I think Monica is next, actually.
Hi, everyone. They leave me at the end because they know how much I talk. ¿Cómo están, mi gente? I'm excited to tell you about the book. It is fabulous. We want you to know what's in the works. You know that Seidlitz Education works behind the scenes all the time. So we are about to have on September 9th, a full day of training with the book. So if you sign up, get the book, and you will have us doing the training during the day, getting you familiar with the book, and you will be ready to share it with others. We continue to have ongoing book studies, and with the book, we also can do program guidance for dual language education. It's I've been requested already several days with different districts that want me to use the book to provide guidelines for dual language. Also, of course, sheltered instruction and ESL program guidance, which is part of the book, as much as family and community outreach support. So pick the topic. We can expand and delve in and not just, go on the surface. We can go deep into that topic. So you will have different people. I know Mary is already very busy planning some sessions with some districts. She's the expert in the structure of the book and also the guidance that she has contributed to the book. As you know, John can do the sheltered ESL, and we have a lot of team members that can provide support for administrators using the book. So there's a lot of sections in the book that you're gonna love. And I think if you do your own book studies, just like you have done in the past, many of you have the other copies. Well, now this one is better and improved. And you are going to absolutely love the QR codes. I think that's one of my favorite parts. I don't have to go and search for anything. I can go to the QR code, and there I am at Region 20 looking at LPAC, or going directly to TA. So all the QR codes are going to lead you directly to all those sites, and you don't have to search on your own. Everything is available, ready to use in the book. So thank you very much for being interested. You know that we are working very diligently to help you in that area. So I know we also have online opportunities. So if you go back to that page where there's a flyer that you can download, the flyer looks like this. So at first, at the beginning of the pandemic, we really did not know how to provide support for districts, but we have a wonderful team. You all know the way we work. So we are tailoring the support any way you want. Webinars, they are there. If you go to our website, you can find the webinars that we offer for free. They're not going away. Even the PowerPoints, we never give PowerPoints away, but now there they are. You have them. You can use them. You can use the webinars as professional development with your teachers. You can determine what you want them to look for and to explore. And then you can follow up with them to see how they're incorporating some of the webinar information in their lesson plans. So, you know, the sky's the limit, however you want to use them. We also do 3-hour sessions. I think those 3-hour sessions we're currently providing have been very, very good. Teachers can see what virtual learning looks like. It's not like I'm doing right now, a talking head. We have interaction, we use the breakouts, we use everything that is on the 7 steps you're familiar with. We are using during the 3-hour trainings and also the full day trainings. So teachers know how to do synchronous and asynchronous. Sincrónico y asincrónico. También existen las palabras en español. I'm doing a lot of trainings in Spanish. Toma la palabra, of course, has, you know, been very popular, and teachers appreciate very much the trainings in Spanish. These last few days I've been with wonderful districts, and people are happy when they come to the trainings. We also have virtual instructional rounds. If you look at that section, there's an explanation. What would it look like if teachers videotape their lessons when they have the privilege of being face-to-face with kids? Well, we can also help them with their virtual work. So we can have one-on-one with teachers, and we have now what's called win hours. During the win hours, you can purchase days where we can connect with teachers directly and we can help them. Coaching has not gone away. Coaching is still there, vivid and present. And not because we're not face-to-face with teachers, that means we're not doing coaching. Coaching continues. So you purchase a day, WIN stands for what I need. So what do I need from a Seidlitz consultant? So we will be there supporting you and helping you during the WIN hours if you select to do that. It can be during PLCs, or it can be during their planning time. So however you want to do it. We're also flexible to do work after hours if teachers want to, you know, if you select that teachers do shorter times after school, we're willing to do that. Those of you that know me, I said no to Saturdays. Well, now I'm available if you need me on a Saturday. What can I say? The clients are the most important people in our lives, so we can work with you guys. So the coaching and all of those options, if you want to download that, that flyer, you can find it on our website, I believe, or if you guys can put the link on the chat so people can access that flyer, reach out to a Seidlitz consultant, your favorite one, whoever it is, and we will be there delivering services just the way you need them. And you know how I say, you know, que Dios los bendiga. Bye-bye. I'm here.
Thank you so much, Monica. That was wonderful. Okay, so we've come to the time where it's almost the time to pick the Twitter winner. If you have yet to tweet right now, the hashtag is still there for you on the screen. It's L's in Text for Leaders. And Melinda is going to be taking a look right now. This is the opportunity where she's selecting the winner. While we're waiting, does Anybody have any questions? This is your one opportunity that you have all 4 of the authors there. So we're just going to buy a little bit of time to see, are there any burning questions that you have for our 4 authors, since most likely they're not going to be in the same place training at the same time. So whether it pertains to the sections in the book or the online opportunities that Monica just mentioned, we're going to be here just for a couple of minutes until I get a signal. Melinda, I'm looking for a signal from you that you have winners ready to go. Yes, we're having some questions. This is in fact the 3rd edition. You know what though? Thank you, Taryn, for bringing that up. There is something that we didn't address. And the 2nd editions of these books were called ELL, what administrators need to know. So note the change from dropping that L, because legally we've dropped that term in the lineage from English language learners to just learner. That's reflected in the title L's. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is we changed the title of administrators to school leaders. And the reason is this, it's very simple. In the districts that we've been working with for the number of years since these publications have been out, we found that instructional coaches, instructional specialists, coordinators have really stepped up and filled in some of those roles and are helping administrators on their separate campuses and districts. So really, even if you're a PLC lead, a team lead, whatnot, any kind of school leader, you're going to find information in here that is suited for you. And so we wanted to be sure that that was inclusive of everybody and not just administrators. So let's see. Maria, yes, current can definitely, oh yeah, Valentina, you let me know if there's any that I'm skipping over. Any trainings that we see online, just to answer your question, Maria, we're able to do them in a half day. We're calling them sessions and not trainings because they're much more of an overview, but we can absolutely take any of the Seidlitz trainings that we have and customize them down to 3 hours. So we can do that for you for sure.
So
Anything
Anna,
else? Yes.
I saw a really good question earlier on, and I think that one of the authors can certainly answer this for our participant.
Great.
How can the book help me as an LPAC administrator?
Good. I think, John, did you want to, John had started answering that question, I think, in the chat.
With my own experience, in my brain, I go back to when I was teaching in Floresville, and I was nominated to be the secondary EL program coordinator and had never been to a training on LPAC and didn't know what Chapter 89 was or what. So for me, I thought about how would I want it to look? What would I have wanted to read? So we had the Q&A format in there. And one of the things when Melinda wrote the original section on LPAC that we worked on was to make sure it wasn't just about meeting TA requirements, is how do I effectively use the LPAC to change students' lives, to impact instruction maximally, so that it isn't just checking a box. It's really, how does this become not just a tool, but like a learning space, a professional learning space for us to really meet the needs of our kids. So if you kind of go through that section with the Q&A there, and I don't know if Mary or Melinda want to build on it, but that's how, it's what I would have wanted to see when I just became LPAC coordinator, like years ago. But of course not with the same not with the same guidance that was in place then.
I would like to say one thing, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. So many times through the years we have discussed or heard discussed procedures, guidance, policy in terms of the minimum requirement, like what must you do to be minimally in compliance. And the difference between that attitude and what we've attempted to do in this book is to lift up our behaviors and our beliefs to extend far beyond the minimum requirements for compliance into helping establish truly excellent and effective programs. So that was our guiding belief all along.
And I would say that's throughout the book for sheltered, ESL.
That's right.
Well, it's connecting the legal stuff with reality, because we can be in compliance and not effective. And so we are all about effectiveness. You can have everything written on paper, and yet when you go into a classroom, is not alive. So that's our goal, to help you make the law a reality. And that's what these resources going to help you do. How it is connecting with practice, daily practice.
I think the other piece as a former director is that the book in its ease to use kind of takes it from just, preaching to the choir to getting the non-believers. You're able to take that book in your hand and say, look, guys, here's where it says, here's the law, and here's what that law looks like in our classrooms. And that's the part that, of course, I have to talk about the law because I'm so passionate about it. But that's where we can really support kids, where we can make the difference. And the law is kind of the stick, but at the same time, it's the carrot. And our people who already understand and believe that we need to support ELs are able to look at that book and go, okay, hey, this makes sense. It's easy to read, but then you can take it to somebody else who doesn't have the same understanding.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you all so much. I think that was wonderful to be able to hear a little bit from each of you. I am going to go ahead and announce the winner. Mary, if you want to go ahead and go to our next slide. We have two wonderful winners, and I'm going to type your names into the chat. It's Crystal Areola and Minerva Cotton. You two have been our fabulous. Everybody give them a round of applause. Minerva, I'm super excited about. I met Minerva before. I'll never forget her name. I trained her in Colleen, I think, one day. And we were doing an ESL activity just on how you can remember somebody's name with imagery. And I'll never forget Minerva. So I'm really excited that Melinda selected you as a winner and Crystal as well. So ladies, here's what we're going to ask you to do. If you would, send an email to the email I'm typing in the chat. It's michelle@johnseidlitz.com. Send her your name and your mailing address, and then she is going to be able to mail you out your own copy of the book, which should be there in just a few days, because we've all noticed that our mail is coming really quickly for whatever reason. So again, if you have any questions about that, they go to michelle@johnseidlitz.com. If you have questions of me, you can reach me at anna@johnseidlitz.com. And I believe that should be it. We might have something special though today, July 28th. Before you sign off, we wanted you to know that it is Melinda's birthday. So if everybody would take a quick second, give a virtual hug.
Thank you, guys.
We're so happy that this is what she's doing the night of her birthday with us. We're very,
Boy, this is the best part of the day. Let me tell you, thank you guys so much.
Of course.
Very, very thoughtful.
My first time was substituting for Melinda Base ESL class in Alamo Heights ISD. And I have worked with her in so many different districts, different roles. But when I started Seidlitz Education, I was so happy when she was retiring from Region 13, because I knew that this book would not have come into being. It was originally, this was her brainchild. So thank you, Melinda, for conceiving this and all the ways that you supported all of us over the years. She's out in Washington now, doesn't work with us as frequently as she used to. So we miss you, Melinda, and have a happy birthday.
Thank you all so very much.
Yay, excellent.
Hopefully you can read what's written on the chat, Melinda. Everybody is wishing you the best.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. Thank you.
Melinda, we'll save the chat as soon as this ends so you can see.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Especially our people from Region 13 that are commenting.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I don't know about the rest of you, but it's hard to be kind of in this semi-quarantine situation, and not be able to hug the grandkids on a day like this. So you guys are sending me some awesome hugs. Thanks.
Right. Virtual hugs to Melinda. All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close it out. We have one more slide for you.
Ordénenlos. Ya se me acabó el inglés. Cómprenlos.
We are so happy you joined us for this exciting event, and we hope that you connect with us again in the future. Thank you all so much for your time.